If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
Welcome back to the Slightly Daily Podcast. This is episode 81. We'll call it episode 81. Just came off a huge week. I've been laying. It seems like I've been flooding the shit, but I really haven't really done a whole lot of shit in the last week because last week killed me. But this is episode 81. We're keeping the thing going. Next milestone is 100 episodes. That's going to be a big deal too.
That's wild.
So Spencer Johnson is here with me again. You were on episode 50 something, I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It doesn't feel that long
months.
ago, but in terms of episodes, yeah, it was definitely
50 something. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
50 something. So yeah. So guys, just to get reacquainted, Spencer was on here with Ty Weatherly.
Mm-hmm.
Ty's been on here twice too. So thank you for coming back, man.
Oh,
Please
yeah, for sure. Thank you for having
reacquaint
me.
yourself, reintroduce yourself if you don't mind.
just who I am, what I do, or
Sure, just who you are, whatever you want to say. Let's get the ball rolling.
the ball rolling. Okay, I'll get the ball out there. My name's Spencer, obviously. My last name's Johnson.
What's your middle name?
Emil, but it sounds like anal, but it's Emil. People say Emil, and I should probably just say yeah.
Where did
so they
that come
don't-
from?
My
Family
My
name?
dad has the same last name. It's Norwegian. His family is like on the Norwegian side.
Okay.
So just a lot of white people, and then
Very white.
Yeah, very like
The Nordic
exclusively-
people are
exclusively white.
white
yeah.
as it gets.
Um,
So your family from literally Norway?
well, like it's just I don't know. He
Ancestry?
said and
Okay.
like ancestry wise. I think my mom did her ancestry test, and it was mostly English and maybe German. And my dad did it as well, and it was English and Norwegian
Yeah.
and German. So it was, which he thought he was Cherokee. He thought he was like 10% Cherokee his whole life because he has a
Wow.
darker. He doesn't get sunburn, and his skin
Does
isn't
he have
like
facial hair?
yeah, but he has like a long stash, but his skin isn't pale. It's like a lot darker than my skin tone is. So he was pretty surprised to find out that his whole life he wasn't Cherokee at all, and he just
So did you guys do like that DNA thing?
Yeah.
The 1, 2, 3 and me?
yeah. I think my dad did Ancestry.com, and my mom did the DNA thing. I don't know.
I want to try it, but you also got to think, I'm literally giving this random laboratory my
yeah,
DNA.
yeah, just clone you.
But I do want to do exactly.
Yeah,
I
see
do want
one
to
of you
try
one
it
day.
though. I mean, us white people.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be much of a
No,
surprise.
no. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, like I've looked up like my last name, my mom's maiden name, like my last names in my family, and 99% of them were just English.
Really?
So, yeah.
So your Timberlake is an English
Yes.
last name? Okay. I was gonna ask what the origin of that was.
Yeah. That's from what I've seen
'Cause
online.
it's not a super common. Like I don't meet.
No.
I mean, everyone knows Justin
Right.
Timberlake is like the main one, but
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, and I even looked up Justin Timberlake's ancestry, and I don't think it was anything like wild.
nothing different.
Yeah.
Than, didn't split
mean,
the branch on the
Right. So, yeah. But I mean, somebody like my girlfriend, she's black and Asian, and part of her dad's side was white too. So like,
Oh, okay.
if she did a DNA test, it would be
way different family tree. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm pretty much 99% European.
Yeah,
I
like
can
1%,
guarantee.
1% African, which is
which
I
is
think it says on every test.
Just kind
ever.
of we all are.
Yeah,
Like,
everything goes back to Africa. So
Isn't that crazy, dude? I watched a video. All right, I can't remember her name, but you've definitely seen her on the internet. It's this old white lady who's got like short hair, and she's
showed
like,
the map, and then
Yes.
she did the map video. Yeah,
yeah, dude. Africa is so much bigger than we think it is.
yeah, it's
As-
massive.
Africa is like 3 times the size of what it is on the actual
Yeah.
map. Like they make like they say South America is bigger than Greenland. Like, you know how big Greenland is on the map? Like, it's not
huge.
that big.
Oh yeah. It's not that big.
No.
Oh,
Like,
then I'm an idiot.
what
I need to look at a map.
That's
again,
what she was saying. Like, for whatever reason, they made the proportions of the map, like, I don't know, wrong.
Because I think her point was in the video that like white, like heavy countries were the massive ones, and then the other, the countries that didn't have a mass majority of white people were smaller in contrast. When in reality,
they have way more land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild.
Have you ever been out of the country?
No, I don't know why I had to think about that, but no, I was making sure. I mean, I've been to a couple. Have you?
No, I've never even been on a plane.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun the first time you do that.
I was going to go to California to see Nathan this year, but I was just like, man, the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, and I almost was just like, man, fuck it. This summer, I was like, we were planning on doing it in September, and I was like, okay, maybe we can manage it. And I was like, dude, that's just not smart right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, when you're making that, decision, you have to count in a lot of things now.
A lot, man. And I wanted to, and I think the airports and stuff are probably taking all the proper precautions and stuff. And it's not like, and also when we got there, it's not like we would have been able to do everything we wanted.
Yeah, you would have pretty much been doing this, like chilling.
Just across the country.
There.
I mean, we might have could have done some like hiking, sightseeing.
Or go to the beach or something. Yeah, maybe.
Would have been cool, but like, I wanted to make like a spectacle, like go see some stuff, like go see some big cities.
Well, all the landmarks in California, a massive amount.
Like we were, he lives in North California, near Berkeley. So he lives kind of like near San Francisco. So like that was kind of like
that area,
that was kind of like the peak. Like, that was kind of like the big city that I was planning on going to explore.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that's another thing too, man. California is huge.
Oh, dude.
Literally, he said it would have he's drove to LA and he said it took like 6 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
especially because I'm from there. When people talk about places they go there, like, oh, the city right above this city, and I have no idea what that is.
What part of California?
I'm from San Jose, and I grew up in Palo Alto before I moved here. It's kind of by like Google and Facebook, like that.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, like sort of by there. I'm pretty sure. Like I lived there until I was 7, and then moved out here, so I'm not really sure where all
do you have a lot of memories? I mean, 7 years old. I'm sure you have some.
I used to go back every year because that's where 99% of my family lives, besides my parents. So, but I haven't been out there in a while. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have memories. Like the beach and Santa Cruz is still like one of my favorite places on earth. Probably my number one. It's just like it's just a boardwalk, and it has a lot of rides, and there's a beach right next to it. And it's like the contrast of like swimming in really cold water and then having fun there, and then saying I want to have a massive pretzel and like going this. I don't know. It's just like nostalgic for me. It probably wouldn't be as fun. Well, definitely not now. But
it's funny you say that because the Wilson County Fair in Lebanon. So I have family that lives in Lebanon.
Okay,
we used to go there all the time when I was little, and I used to think it was so massive.
Yeah,
and just the hugest thing. Me and Marlena went last year, and I went, and I was like, this ain't shit. Like,
you walk in the Ferris wheels 5 feet in front of you.
I was like, wait, this is not nothing. Because I remember just walking. Me and my cousin, we just walked all the way through it. And I just thought it was this huge.
Being bombarded by everything.
Are you into like theme parks and stuff?
Yeah, I love going to theme parks. I don't know. It's just like it's like nostalgic and just you can just still have fun when you're older.
I'm pretty afraid of heights.
I am now,
but I can rock with some. I can do some rides.
Yeah,
it depends. There's some of them like that fucking slingshot thing.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
maybe like
I'm all right forever on that one.
I remember when we went to the fair, they had this thing, which going back looking at it now, wasn't as big as I thought it was, but it was this thing where like you sit, your legs are hanging off, and it spins you like up.
And then
it's like a circle,
and then it drops you.
Yeah. And it basically is like a pendulum.
Okay.
That thing,
I know what you're talking about.
So like
and
you're in a circle, and like there's like a circle of people, and it like spins you.
Yeah.
And then it just like
it goes up, and then it almost like goes upside down.
Yeah. Now, we did that one back in the day, and that was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was probably about as far as I'll go. But there's some like, dude, like the elevator thing.
Yeah.
Where you go up and then it just goes.
Yeah, the lights
Like,
go off and they
oh my god.
they hesitated like, and you're
It's
like,
just like, oh shit.
yeah, nah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I look at, especially the slingshot one where they sit there and they're like, and then they just send you out.
Oh,
like, I will
dude.
never.
I know.
Maybe
like,
I would. But
I know going to like Panama, that big ass slingshot, and you can see it. Oh my god.
yeah,
dude.
watching those videos of just people passing out, I was
Dude,
like,
that's
I'd probably pass out.
terrifying. How many
Yeah.
feet? That's literally hundreds of feet in the air.
Yeah.
You're just being propelled at a couple hundred miles per
yeah,
hour.
Yeah, 500 miles per
like-
hour off of like sling. Yeah, post sling. That is terrifying.
I
watch
did
way too many videos.
go to Disney in Orlando once, and we rode Space Mountain, which
Yeah,
is like in the
and-
dark.
dude.
It's
yeah.
it was a really fun one. I was like 12, so it was kind of
I
scary.
was 12 when I went there as well.
Pitch black though. That's
Yeah.
such a crazy idea for
Yeah.
a roller coaster. A pitch black, starry like. You're basically like flying through space.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one. Like I vividly remember that one. That was like the first. Like we went there as soon as it opened,
Oh, really?
and like we got there as soon as the gates opened, and we went straight there, and there was like no wait.
Which part of Disney is it in? Do you remember? I'm trying to remember if
I think it was just.
went there because there's like Animal Kingdom, there's
Yeah.
like Epcot.
It wasn't.
There's so many other places I can't think of right now.
Dude, it was just regular Disney World. I don't
Yeah.
think it was.
Anything like
No, I don't
out of
think-
the ordinary.
No, because like we were. It was like where Mickey Mouse and shit was. Like it was. It was where
I
like
probably rode that ride. I rode so many.
it was like this big white sphere.
Oh, in Epcot. where
Maybe
you,
not.
like-
Maybe not. Maybe not.
There's the white sphere though, where you go slow and you can like choose it, and there's stars all
Can't even
over
think.
the ceiling.
Yeah,
it's dark.
it was pitch black. I can't.
There's
it
pitch-
might not have been a white sphere. Maybe I'm.
The
just-
white sphere was
that's
in Epcot. Yeah.
Maybe I did go to it. Maybe
That's
maybe it
incredible
was.
too. I mean, you probably went to both. You probably
Yeah.
remembering the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like I said, heights terrify me. Like I drive for Amazon, and there's this bridge. So sometimes we'll go to Old Hickory, which
Yeah.
is like 20 minutes from Nashville. It's not that far, but there's this big ass bridge, and it's there's like lakes and rivers and shit
of course,
all in
yeah.
Tennessee. I think it's Old Hickory Lake that you drive over, and it's just like it's terrifying.
just right below you.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
100 feet down.
I wonder how like I don't know, man. How the fuck did they build bridges and stuff with the rudimentary technology 150 years ago?
I have
you
no
know?
idea. It still blows my mind that you can just do it
Do it
now.
now.
And say there's 500 feet that we need to cross to get over this bridge, and that's easy. We're just gonna do that right now.
With the just heavy ass materials.
I mean, how do they even? Because if they're, I don't want to sound stupid, but it's like any way of thinking about it. It's like I'm sure they start on both sides and then have like boats in the middle to where they can
Yeah.
put pillars.
It's just
in the
so
ground.
What's blowing my mind is just how heavy the shit is. Like
Yeah,
steel beams.
that's why. Yeah, the steel it probably
Like-
carries along the structure and the strength of the structure as well. It's wild. It's still wild to think about. I don't even like thinking about it because I'm like, how the fuck did they? I don't know.
Or like I mean, I know this is like kind of cliche to think, but like the pyramids and stuff.
Oh, it's really cliche.
I mean, not even
I'm
just
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
not even just Egypt.
Yeah.
Dude, there's pyramids in that's
Yeah.
that's another thing. There's pyramids in China. There's
Yeah.
pyramids in Mexico, South America. Like huge rock.
And you show up to them,
Figures.
they're like, yeah, you can look just like you can't go inside of it. Obviously, why would you be able to do that? That's, I mean, how many feet do those even go down? There's probably
Right, down?
bunkers
Yes.
and hundreds and hundreds of feet of tombs, and those are wild.
Isn't that crazy too? That was the purpose of it, was
Yeah.
a cemetery.
Yeah, because we look at
essentially.
it as some like spectacle. We're
like
like,
a-
oh my gosh, this is. But they were just
Like the World Trade Center. We're like, oh,
was
look
just-
what we did.
Yeah.
Like, we built these huge
Yeah.
buildings, and
that's what it was to them. It was just like towers, like
Yeah.
their own towers and their own. They're paying respect.
or like even if you look back into like biblical times, like the Tower of Solomon, they say it was like bigger than. I mean, it's not there anymore, obviously, but like they say it was just like. And we're talking about BC, like
Yeah.
thousands of years ago.
Thousands. Yeah.
Somehow they built this building that was as big as our tallest buildings. What were some? All right, so when I was in school, I was like a history, English kind of guy. What was your like subjects in school?
I'm trying to. I did online school for like the rest of like high school, but my subjects definitely, I guess, freshman year were English wasn't too bad, and I mean, I didn't mind history. It's just when I got older, I stopped caring about it for whatever reason. But
I feel and plus being older too, we kind of realized just the Pilgrims didn't really sit down and have a lunch with the Indians.
And Chris Columbus wasn't a standout.
He wasn't a good guy.
He's basically a terrorist is what he was. He
essentially
he literally came through and raped and killed multiple I mean, we could talk about that for hours, but it's funny though because we don't learn that in school. We learn like a whole massive chapter. He rode in standing on the ship, and there's
we're here. We found America.
Yeah, thou America, and then they land and they meet.
And the Indians were like,
they meet the indigenous people and they shake hands.
They're like, oh hey,
thank
how
you.
Are you.
That's not what happened at all.
Not at all. What are some? Hold on, I had my brother on here. He's he's in school right now. He's going to school to be a teacher. He's huge into history. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I asked him this question. I was like, Kobe, that's his name, Kobe. What is your like favorite time period, favorite like part of history? You know, like what culture for you? Like for me, like recently I've been really interested in like the founding fathers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Revolutionary War type people. What kind of ancient history, time period / part in the world kind of intrigues you?
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
Yeah. That's what I asked him. But like,
okay, wait, what was his?
He gave me a couple. He said, obviously like the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Founding like U.S. history too. And then I asked somebody else that, and he told me he was really interested in like Sumer, like the Sumerians, like the first civilization, and he also had some like Scandinavian ancestors too. Like he's got like long red hair, like long red beard, looks like a Viking.
Oh wow!
So he was telling me he was interested in that too.
Okay, yeah,
like Viking, Nordic type stuff. So
I mean, I would definitely say the indigenous culture and their history is probably, Native Americans. It's probably my number one, just because also when we grow up, we don't realize that they're still being shafted by our entire government and having, their deals that they had to plead for wrongly to the government for them to even have, basic rights and to have their own land.
And they have like a sliver
and
of
it's
Oklahoma.
still shit on, and thousands of indigenous women in the past couple of years have been kidnapped, and it hasn't made any national news, and that's confirmed. Like a massive part of their population has been
displaced,
and their history has just been erased and completely.
Yeah.
The definition of whitewash. We hear about the Trail of Tears and stuff. We don't actually hear about the. There's a lot of inconsistent. Yeah,
it's really.
It's wild.
It's really interesting because, all right, we look at who was like responsible directly for the Trail of Tears, and Andrew Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And he may have done some good things for America, but what he did, what he was responsible for, is so like it doesn't matter what you did.
No, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And like, in Nashville, there's like streets and buildings and shit named. He's on the $20 bill. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this man literally.
Imagine if the people saw his face, had to look at his face when they were just,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, this guy on I just got paid. I'm going to the bank, going to the ATM. I pull out 20s, and I'm like, wow, this guy killed my great aunt.
Yeah, they still do. Indigenous people still have to look at it and pay that way.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's another thing too, man. I'm super interested in Native Americans and stuff, but it's so hard to find like information or like material on it. It's just like it's difficult.
Yeah. Now it's getting a lot easier because there are a lot of indigenous people on social media that will tell the truth and will like speak about their actual traditions and culture, which is really interesting to me. And
Joe Rogan had a lady, I think she was indigenous, but she was like she was. She's like an expert on just indigenous culture and like.
I haven't seen that.
I can't remember her name. I'll text you the link, but it was a few months ago. But she like it was a really interesting one because like they went in deep.
Yeah,
like,
I mean you can go as deep as possible.
Yeah.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
And man, just the land. I mean, I want to know what if the Europeans didn't come and invade the U.S., what America would have turned into. You know, like would the Native Americans have turned into? You know, this basically, or
a massive civilization,
or like would they? I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, do you think they would turn? You think they would stay the way they were, living in their ways, like teepees and stuff, or you think they would grow with like technology and civilization?
I don't know because it's like we were saying, they were pretty much having to plead with the government. They were pretty much forced to not. They weren't able to live like how they wanted to live, and we pretty much forced them to do things a certain way because the rule of the land was there. It was their land and it was their rules.
They had laws and rules.
And they still have different ways of living. I don't know though. I feel like every society evolves eventually, but I'm not sure. We'll never know because
you look at the Middle East and. Like Israel and all that, all those countries. I mean, we're talking about they have buildings and stuff from hundreds and thousands of years ago, and look at them now. Like there's cars and stuff there. It's like modern. They
right next to 1,000-year-old buildings.
Exactly.
Yeah, almost.
And man, I also had a conversation a while ago with one of my friends who's he's just a really intelligent guy, and we were talking about how shout out to Dalton, but we're talking about how so we look in America, or all right, we go to Europe, or like we were saying, Egypt with the pyramids, or the Middle East with all these old architecture and stuff. We look in America, there is no like ancient buildings. We look at the ancient buildings are like old plantation homes. From 100 years, or from like 200 years ago.
Especially like in the South, there are a lot of really old, but
it's first of all, it's negative as fuck.
Yeah, it's not cool.
It's not cool.
No.
And two, it's only what is 200 years in the grand scheme of modern civilization?
And there's only one group in the country that can comfortably see these homes, and not feel absolutely mortified and terrible about it.
And like Rome. Or like something like this, something like a country like Rome, they have like literal roads that were that like the cobblestone roads that were
still the same.
That were still the same from 500 years ago.
In Greece and
But like here, it's like oh that's cool. That house is 100 years old.
Yeah,
and it's just a house. Like it's not like this groundbreaking architecture.
How long has the Empire State Building been around?
Maybe 100 years. You know what I'm saying? Like.
When did the Empire State Building get built?
I'm gonna guess 100 years. Let me Google it real quick.
Was it in the
take an actual guess?
I want to say the 30s or the 40s. Probably wrong on both of those decades.
Let's see. When was the Empire State? March 17th, 1930.
Oh, 1930.
Good call.
I feel like that's one of those facts that other people would expect Americans to just know.
It's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't even know when that tall-ass building was? Yeah.
See, and look, Big Ben in London, 1843.
Wow.
I mean.
What was the Eiffel Tower?
1887.
Oh, wow.
See?
Yeah, just like predating everything.
1887. And like it's like modern architecture, but like, dude, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago, yeah.
It's
not a short,
statue
didn't just happen.
Like probably, this probably isn't true, but this is one of our most monumental figures, the Statue of Liberty, 1875.
Oh, okay.
It's not that. I mean, it's a long time ago, but like.
But compared to a lot of other places, a lot of other buildings, like I'm pretty sure in Greece they have 1,000-year-old buildings, and
or like the Colosseum in Rome.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. They just in pieces, but standing.
It's still there. The Parthenon has like some stuff still standing from. what is that literally? Like probably 1,000 years?
Yeah,
Like,
who knows?
You know, who knows, really?
We just
We're just like,
99% sure it's that long ago. Yeah, it's really wild.
So going back to the school thing, I had this thought. So I was telling you, like, English and history was like my subjects, I guess, if I had to pick a couple. I hate math and science.
Yeah.
But relating to the English thing, dude, there was some books and like some Shakespeare stuff that was actually very entertaining, like really genius stuff, like Hamlet. I don't know if you remember much of it.
I haven't read it,
dude. I remember reading it my senior year of high school. I did have a really good English teacher. Like
that helps a lot.
He was really dope.
That's
like,
awesome, having a good English teacher. Those are the best when you have a good English teacher.
He would like give us. So like I went to Central Magnet, so it was just like, you know, it was ramped up. Everything was ramped up. So like, a lot of people were taking AP tests and stuff. So every class we would have like AP vocabulary words every week. So for his class, for like a quiz grade or like a test grade, he would give us those words and tell us to make a rap with those words in it.
Oh, okay.
So like that was just one thing, but he made Hamlet literally like fun.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was awesome. I'll never forget it.
Like just got you really involved with
The whole class.
with the story. That's dude, that's what a teacher should be.
Hamlet.
First off, yeah.
Like William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Any, you know, you're like, oh, Romeo and Juliet, like
a lot of people despise it because they had teachers that just page 142. Yeah.
Okay, and then read pages read chapter 1 and 2, and then here's a test.
Yeah.
And like, we would have tests and papers, but
you were looking forward to it because you,
like,
you
I know
retained
this.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Because he actually gave a fuck about people retaining knowledge.
He was an awesome teacher, and it was
awesome.
Yeah, it was like, and in college is way worse, bro. I went to MTSU. The 9 out of 10 teachers don't give a fuck.
You didn't enjoy their teaching style.
They're like, they don't even want to be there. They'll cancel class. You know what I'm saying? You'll get an email. You'll have a 9 o'clock class. You'll get an email at 7:30. Yeah, I'm canceling class today.
You just get an email. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you
basically.
don't know what that means, but it's just
Okay, and they will cuss too. That's a weird thing. Being in a classroom.
Oh, in that atmosphere.
And they just say like shit.
Son of a bitch or something.
This son of a bitch. Like, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They get done with the lesson. They're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'll be home around that. And you're like, what? Okay. Mr. Stevens off some weird ass shit over there. But yeah. I remember when you'd hear a teacher cuss in high school, everyone would talk about it. You'd go in the hallway and be like, oh, he's fucked. He's for sure fucked after that one. And they would know it, but they would just like stand upright, like, like.
Yeah, so my mother is a teacher now. My grandma taught for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Dude, we need to treat our educators way better, bro.
I agree.
Like, the you know, I know money isn't everything, but we look at like what's valuable or important in our society. Doctors, engineers, who's teaching all those?
Yeah,
you know,
those are the people that raise. Those are parents to a lot of children as well.
That as well,
and it also goes hand in hand with what you're saying about we need great teachers. Like teachers, if you are going into the profession, you need to want this more than like anything,
dude.
Because it sounds like he had a great time and he woke up and he wasn't mad at what he had to do. And you can tell that because it brings out in the classroom.
Yep.
If you're having a good time reading Hamlet in high school, then that says something about
when I'm 18 and I'm cheating on every other in every other class. But his 100%. Class, I don't have to.
Yeah. Why would I cheat? I can. Like,
I already know it. Like,
I don't even want to be a disservice. Yeah.
Exactly. And like, dude, we just look my mother is a kindergarten teacher. Okay, my mom has probably taught some very successful people how to read. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. My mom taught a lot of people how to read, and they will always know A, B, C, D, E, F, G
because of this person.
Because
they'll remember forever.
Whether it's subconscious, but like, you know what I'm saying? If she just half-ass did her job, like, and it took him longer to read, like it took him till 1st or 2nd grade to learn how to read, he would have been all the way behind, you know? And also what you were saying about the like the parenthood figure too, because like, man, I used to work ESP, like the after school program. There's some kids who get dropped off first thing in the morning, first person there, last person to leave.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I went to the YMCA after school, and there would be kids that would leave last.
It's so sad,
Yep.
man. The kids are literally busting a 12-hour shift. I mean, for real, man. Just sit down.
It's not funny. It's just, it's like, it's absurd.
Sit down. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Constantly being ridiculed.
Yeah.
And then, but a lot of them, look up to, especially kids in elementary school, because you have one teacher the entire year that is with you. There is no, I mean, there's a PE teacher and then whatever, but.
And then you get 15 minutes for lunch.
Yeah.
And then right back to it.
Sit back down and shut the fuck up.
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Or even in the cafeteria. Hey, guys, you guys are being too loud.
Yeah. Silent lunch. Fuck all of you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Dude, I don't get to talk. Like,
what kind of weird shit is that? Let's go back to that. And you have like, especially in Tennessee, where there's so many kids in schools because they're all around each other. And when the zoning thing happened, there were like 1,000 in each freshman class. So, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, especially that happened a lot in middle school.
Silent
but
lunch.
oh my gosh,
that's fucked up. That's
like one person would be off, and then the teacher would be like, "Yeah, everybody, shut the fuck up,"
Yeah,
and then
everyone.
and
then when you get home, your dad and mom is telling you the same shit.
Yeah.
And they're spanking you when you're a 5-year-old,
And your whole life's just being ridiculed.
Man.
And you resent everything because of that. How can you appreciate anything?
Dude, I'm glad that I recognize this as, I don't have any kids, but like if and when I do, I feel like our generation will know, okay, maybe I need to be more like understanding to my kid or something,
Sure.
Like my mom wasn't strict or anything. And like, I had a good mom, but like, I'll know, okay, I'm not going to just make my kid stay in his room or like, I'm also not going to make him not make him play baseball if he doesn't want to play baseball.
Force him into something. Yeah.
And like, that didn't happen in my case, but like, just.
You see it happen in a lot of other people, and you definitely feel for them because it's inescapable when you're younger. You can't not be who
your parents.
I mean, it's difficult. I wasn't raised that way. My parents were pretty lenient as well. Just whatever I wanted to do, they were there for me, which I'm really, really like 100% fortunate for, and I was really privileged to have that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't choose what they want to be or what they want to do.
It's like, I don't even like soccer. I just want to play the flute. Like,
and by the time they get to 18 and they're in these situations where they've been doing for something so long, they don't really know what else they could do. And they pretty much, you hear a lot of people get into sports in college and they don't want to do that anymore, even if they're really good.
Yeah.
My
uncle, he was really good at baseball. Like, could have went and played some college baseball somewhere.
Wow.
And he was really good all the way through high school. And then at the end of his high school, he was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, he was like, I'm good.
Had enough. I'm all right.
I'm okay. I got here, and that was it.
Yeah. And other people could be like, are you
out
of your mind?
Because and then there's also a lot of kids who are like, man, I wish I would have had that opportunity or been blessed with that talent or something like that.
Exactly. That's wild. Growing up, those are the most pivotal years. Like, just especially 5 through 10.
What would you say is the most pivotal transition? Elementary to middle or middle to high school? What is like the most, prominent?
That's actually a really good question.
I've thought about that before. It's tough because, all right, you go from elementary to middle, you're literally going from going to school with 5-year-olds into going to school with teenagers.
Yeah, like actual kids. Yeah.
But then whenever you go from 8th grade to 9th grade, you're going to school with teenagers.
Now there are a lot of drugs involved, and just everything. Well, I feel like it is difficult because I don't know. It's kind of weird. Weird, but just going to middle school, I remember I really wanted to be something, and I didn't care what that was. Like, I just wanted to be somebody.
Yeah. Middle school is weird.
Now it kind of compromised my own personality. Or I don't know. Maybe that was more high school though, because you get there and you feel like you feel way more pressure from like the upperclassmen in high school than you
Where'd
do
you
in middle
go?
school.
Did you go to Blackman?
I went to Blackman like freshman year for
for-
most of the freshman year. But like I went to Blackman Middle before as well, so I knew most of the upperclassmen I was friends with.
See, I went to Rockville, or I went to Cason Lane for elementary, and then I went to Rockville Middle. It was a brand new school.
Oh yeah, a lot of my friends went to Rockville.
So it was weird. Like everyone was kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, basically.
Who's this guy? Yeah.
So, but like so I went to Rockville, and then my freshman year I went to Riverdale. That was like an experience.
Culture shock.
Dude, it's so big, and there's so many people, and like
so many different groups and friend groups
Dude.
that are already knowing each other from
and then I went to Central, and it was just totally different. First of all,
and then you had you went to a lot of schools where you had to be reintroduced.
So yeah, dude, it was like going to Central was probably the most like influential thing to happen in my life. For one, it prepared me for college. It made college like it was just as it was basically like I went to college in high school. So when I went to college, it was kind of like, okay, I know what kind of academic level I have to perform at.
Yeah.
And then
it wasn't like blowing your mind to the point where
some of it was, but for the most part, I was like, okay,
you weren't super upset about.
I wasn't like, oh, God.
Unprepared.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was definitely prepared, whether I wanted to be prepared or not. But like also, so we're looking at, okay, we're in 2020 right now. So I went to Central in like 2012, 13, 14. Back then, times have changed a lot in the last 7-8 years.
Really? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So, dude, I was exposed to like a lot of stuff there. There was a lot of diversity there. So like, which was a really good thing. Like a lot of the stuff that's happening today, I was already kind of exposed to, like just being more tolerant to like the LGBTQ people and just, all that, mainly that was like a really big thing there. 'Cause like coming from here, Tennessee, you're not really like exposed to it much. You're kind of just like, oh.
And certain people are grown up in a way to where they have preconceived negative notions. Yeah.
That going there, I've never been like mean to gay people or anything like that, but going there and being more being more comfortable around just seeing like, oh, like he's dressing like a girl. Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, what's up, man? Or like, what's up? How you doing? And like Central was on that that kind of like inclusiveness wave, because it was everybody knew each other and everyone was really smart too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's cool that it introduced you. Like I said, I think we were talking about it before. Yeah, I came from California, so I grew up in a way. Some people in California can grow up in a way to where they have negative notions, but it was like a normal thing to me. And then when I moved here, and the kids, would talk in a way like a lot of derogatory terms when you're younger, like growing up here towards, whether it be race or gender or orientation. And it was really shocking to me because it was just a normal thing. My parents never told me it was bad. They never even mentioned it to me. I just thought it was a way of living,
right?
Which it is. It's just like but yeah,
it's really nobody's business.
No.
Like whether I'm gay, which I'm not, but like it's really not even my business.
No.
And the only person that should matter to you is your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
It
doesn't affect anybody. You can't change who you are. You can't change straight people. You don't walk up to people and say, have you thought about
being gay?
Yeah. Nobody's ever said that with a serious face.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's wild though. It definitely growing up here, when I moved here it was mind blowing. I was what? And then I had to talk to my parents about it and they're like, oh, not saying that the South is exclusive, because a lot of people make the argument that only racist people live in the South or only homophobic or sexist people, but that's everywhere. It's just more blatant.
It's in other countries too.
It's more blatant here in the U.S.
Yeah,
more
this region.
Outright.
Absolutely.
Or at least I've experienced.
Yeah.
You'll just hear people say some shit.
I will say this. Oh man, Tennessee is opening. Nashville, more specifically, is becoming way more, because like I deliver in East Nashville a lot, and dude, Biden signs everywhere.
Yeah, this year I've never seen that many
Yeah.
signs leaning that way in Tennessee, especially
Yeah.
in Murfreesboro as well, with
Right.
like the Hale signs and
Yeah, I
Chris
voted for
Hale.
him actually.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a
Shout out Chris Hale. Yeah.
yeah, he was a. I thought he had a chance, but
Yeah.
it's just man,
I mean, look where we live. I mean, it's a
just
lot of
so
progress.
deeply.
Yeah.
I mean, he got. I don't know what the actual percentage.
He
was,
did
but
well.
He got a decent percentage though.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for people to just be like, look, I think it's important for people to be tolerant of each other, whether on either side. Like, if you did vote for X or Y, be nice to the person who didn't vote for blah blah blah. You feel what I'm saying? Because like, if you're just perpetuating the same energy, or just not even give it any energy,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so difficult now.
We live in a
to navigate through that, because there's tolerating, but like you
Yeah.
can't tolerate intolerance of people that are
It's
just
kinda
being
complacent.
normal. Like, you can't tolerate somebody being
Yeah.
like hateful towards somebody,
Yeah.
because a lot of people online, they'll push something and be, oh, it's my opinion, but like that
Yeah.
opinion really affects people in a really negative
Dude,
way.
Absolutely.
So there's a line. I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, obviously, if someone tweets, "I'm a Nazi,"
there's no
there's no-
understanding or
no,
no. That's what I mean. There's like
Yeah.
there's certain things that people say that you can
because I feel like if you're just like, oh well, it's his opinion, then you're kind of being like complacent.
Yeah.
You're kind of just like
that's letting it exist and grow, because
letting it grow. Yeah.
especially now with a lot of hate groups online. A lot of children are really influenced, like anybody was. You know, when we're growing up, we wanted the Instagram likes. We wanted, this person takes a picture this way, they get this engagement. I'm gonna subconsciously do it, and
Yeah.
like kind of like copy what everybody's just trying to one up each other. But when you read opinions online, and you know kids don't have like groups of friends that are kind of like, hey, that's bullshit.
Hey man, that's not it.
Isolated, and they read this group and they get to feel special around this group, but also like hate this other group.
Absolutely.
It grows, and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. So there is a way to navigate it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though. I mean, like,
You see what I'm saying? I'm saying like,
yeah, I'm not walking around the street saying, what are you? Oh, fuck you.
fuck
Like,
you.
yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying. But also like, I know what you're saying, because if someone is blatantly being like racist online, and he's your friend,
Yeah.
and you like post up with him,
Yeah.
you know, it's you're almost just in the wrong as
Yeah.
well.
You can't
know?
and you got to call your friends out on shit.
like, hey, man.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Being a good friend is like informing somebody like, hey,
Yeah.
this affects somebody. Because I mean, it's also different growing up here as well, because not all of your friends are going to think the same exact way about everything the way you are. So but yeah, I don't know, everyone has different opinions, but there's definitely a line when you go on social media and
Definitely.
Twitter. There's a line where it's like, I'm not gonna really associate with you if you think this way, because
Yeah.
it's kind of going against my whole morale.
Yeah.
And just the way
Twitter has turned ever since probably 5 years ago, man. Twitter is not the same. Twitter is a straight up war zone now, man.
just
Both sides, man. Literally,
wars. It's
there's no. You've got Ben Shapiro's, and then you've got very, very progressive left people who like virtue signal way too much. You know what I'm saying? Then you've got the Ben Shapiro types who are also like, well, you're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other people are like, well, you're just a fucking idiot. I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna just say that there's never gonna be any common ground, but dude, how like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When are we gonna like try and
Yeah.
find some like understanding? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not Gandhi either. You know, I'm not trying to be like Jesus or Mother
Yeah.
Teresa, but like,
Yeah.
dude, I can't. Twitter is a war zone.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely terrible people. You mentioned one of them that has a platform that can pretty much just spout horse shit a lot of the time. But it's endless though. I mean, we could talk about that for hours, but like you said, why are it's shitty that you have to give like shitty opinions like like the time of the day, because like giving no energy to something is sometimes the best thing to do, and in a way to where. But since I don't know, it's so difficult now because you could just constantly be enraged, which you should be about a lot of things that happen, but you're gonna pass out by the end of the day if you're constantly
screaming,
mad,
yelling at the top of your lungs.
I mean, because the past couple of years I've just been really mad at everything that's been going on, and it's really hard to just calm down because people think that like politics and stuff like that are just things like that don't affect you, but it affects a lot of people in ways that they don't think about subconsciously. And
it's not just about money, man.
No, it isn't about money.
It's not just about, gas prices are going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain policies, there's certain, there's everything. It's just, it's weird. It's wild. It's definitely wild.
And I'm also not a politician either, man. So, but damn, I know I can say this objectively. Twitter is a weird place right now. I mean,
Twitter, Reddit, every opinion sourced.
Social media has just, like I said, the last 5 years, bro, since probably 2015 to now, dude, it has just drastically changed. Because, it used to be mostly like recreational,
Yeah, you just get on, my friend's strong.
And a lot of stuff, a lot of jokes used to be really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And now a lot of that shit wouldn't fly for good reason. Yeah. But also sometimes, like, all right, are you familiar with the Kevin Hart situation?
Yeah.
What was your opinion on that? Because I feel like that was taken way.
Well, he crossed the line, and he said he did, and he owned up to it, but
I feel like that's a good example of what.
It's really it's really difficult because I feel like certain companies have a pressure from an entire side of social media that say, like, no matter what, a lot of people don't believe in second chances. That's just the reality of things. Like, you just have to realize, like, nobody will get a second chance, and they don't deserve a second chance from everybody. I don't deserve a second chance from everybody that I've offended. But it's weird. Yeah. I mean, he apologized about it and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. Cause I mean, obviously the company's thinking if they go for it, it's damned if you do, it's damned if you don't.
No.
Over and over again. Cause you could say, well, then you could say, but it just goes back and forth. I don't know. What's your opinion on it?
I mean, personally, I thought it was an overreaction personally. Because I don't think he literally was gonna slam a dollhouse on a child.
Yeah,
he's a comedian. That's another thing too, dude.
Yeah,
comedy, dude. It's a weird time to be a comedian.
Yeah,
dude. Think about some some jokes and shit that were quote unquote funny 15 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, like Dane Cook or some shit.
Oh yeah,
There's
also a line too that is crossed when comedians aren't being comedians anymore and they're being themselves.
Yeah.
Because you can't say because
I play
joke. We play music. I can't say like I'm being a musician right now, like because I'm talking in a rhythm. Like it's can't really say that either. Can't. Be, it's my job to make tunes. Like
I know what you're saying.
A lot of them but now it is different though because a lot of them won't make those jokes.
Comedy is weird. You say one bad joke and.
Everyone's like,
you're done for.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of people are like, that's it. Like, it's move right on. I mean,
where's like the
line to where it's I don't know.
I mean, there's some stuff that is obviously not funny.
Yeah.
Whether it be fun, like actually hilarious, and there's some stuff that maybe you shouldn't joke about, but also the argument can be made. It's like, well, he's not being serious. That's the whole point of it being a joke.
Yeah,
it's not serious.
I think some comedians you can be lazy in the way you deliver something, and you like make the joke for a certain audience that feels cheap, and because this side of the audience will laugh, but I don't know. I mean, comedy's kind of. I don't know. Mainstream comedy's been shit for a long time.
Honestly, yeah. What are some? Let's do some more lighthearted stuff. What are some like? What is your favorite type of comedy? Are you like more of like a The Office type comedy, or like more of like Family Guy type stuff, or like
I don't know. I just
like Jim Carrey? Like what kind of stuff were
I
you
love.
into?
I mean, I loved Jim Carrey growing up. I feel like everybody kind of did at some point, at least for
He don't give a fuck, dude.
yeah.
I love that he does not care.
He'll go on set and just at least back then he would just be himself
Ace
and do what he
Ventura,
wanted to
just
do.
Goofy as
And
hell.
yeah, and Liar Liar and the Grinch. For some reason I didn't know that he was the Grinch until 2 years ago.
Really?
And my whole childhood made sense. I was like,
Duh.
that was fucking Jim Carrey. And now every time I watch it, I feel stupid.
Have you seen Eternal Sunshine?
Oh, that's an incredible movie. Kate Winslet.
Man,
that's a great movie. Jim Carrey's just great. Kate Winslet is absolutely incredible.
Last time you were on here, we had the question about movies, and you remember we were like, "What is like a movie you can run back to back?" That's one of them for me. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm glad that you came on. Another one for me, just that I can think of off the top of my head, No Country for Old Men.
Oh my gosh.
I've literally seen that movie 10 times.
Dude, and it almost feels like I haven't seen it every time I watch it. Because it hits me the same way every time.
And funny, my English teacher senior year showed us part of those scenes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like not like the where he fucking
Javier, Bardem, yeah.
Dude, he showed us like the cinematography of it. Because like, dude, there's some scenes where it's just dead silent. Like there's no, do you notice in that movie there's no music?
No, the Coen brothers, dude.
There is no, like, you know how like
The tension of that movie is so, the car scene where Josh Brolin is running away in the streets when he gets shot at when he's in the hotel and he's running from him. There's no music that entire time, and he's hiding behind cars, and then he's waiting, and then you just hear the shot like ring out in the fucking. Oh my gosh!
My favorite scene is when he's in that fucking gas station and he
flip a coin
and he throws the quarter down.
Yeah, that terrifies me. He said, "Why?"
And you just hear, "Why?"
Yeah,
like you hear the fear, like in his. You can hear him like tremor, like the. Dude. I love Anton Chigurh's character. He's the perfect anti-hero.
Oh, dude.
He's such a evil person, but dude, so
entertaining. My gosh. And he was incredible in Skyfall because he was the villain in Skyfall.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you had to. That's one of the best Bond movies ever. You have to watch that soon.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country. Yeah, that's one of the best.
I would buy that on DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that movie on 4K or whatever. Whenever the PS5 is not sold out forever. But dude. That movie's incredible. I'm glad you brought them. I was just talking about that movie the other day.
I was thinking about it because I don't know, it just randomly crossed my mind, and I was like, damn. Me spent your entire conversation. I could, because my mind, I went blank.
I had so many after as well. Yeah. I mean, because when you're saying, "What do you like about this?" You try to think about the last like half of your life and what you thought about something. It's shitty.
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Man. Who directs that?
The Coen brothers. Ethan and Joel Coen. They're the same brothers that directed The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
A Serious Man. I mean, they have. Yeah, they have tons of movies, but that's one of the best movies ever. And I think the cinematographer is Roger Deakins. I'm pretty sure.
So I did a podcast a couple weeks ago on Zoom with this guy from New York. Long story short, he's like he does a podcast too. I met him through Instagram, and long story short, connected with him. I was like, yo, you guys are dope. Anyway, he's a videographer. Like, he's a photographer, does all types of really cool shit. And like, he was breaking it down to me. I was like, so how did you get into this? And he was like, I started skating, blah, blah, blah. And he was like telling me, he was like, but I wanted to get into cinematography. Like, okay, if I wear this green shirt and I make the tint, the contrast on the film, like, I want it'll make you feel this way subconsciously. Yeah. Like, man, it's like a whole nother like science.
So much goes into a set, because we watch that and we think, the cinematographer is doing everything, but we forget about the lighting and the exact lighting, and because that means every single person on that set, if one of them fucks up, then everything fucks up.
Everything. You
know how hard it is to make a great movie? Like, how hard that is to do. You don't even know if it's going to be a great movie most of the time.
A lot of okay, think about this. How many movies had $100 million budget, blah blah blah, had a banging ass trailer roll out, and then you watch it and you're like, dude, this is shit. It took 6 months of y'all's life to make, and no one
blood, sweat, and tears.
And like, they were like, all right, we did it.
Yeah.
and then it came out, and then it was just crap.
And it's so much money goes
Sad,
into that.
honestly.
So because people think acting's easy as well, and that's completely far from the truth. That is, I'd like to see anybody try to remember 30 pages of script and go over
with the right emotion and inflection, instead of just saying, Spencer, hand me that water bottle.
Yeah, because you can't. You can just read it. You can. A lot of people can remember something. Like a lot of people can remember. I went to the store and I picked up a drink and then a thing. But you have to say, I went to the store. But you can't. You like
it's
a lot
where
of people.
Where were you? I went to the store. And I like
you have to set the tone. It's incredible, and it's dude, it's actually incredible. But yeah, I love like watching acting and like a lot of the behind the scenes. And the thing about acting is like a lot of people think it's you, because when you watch it, it's camera. The camera's there. Everyone's aware of the camera pointing at said subject or person, and you see them. So you think camera and person, but you're not thinking about camera person, 13 people that are watching this person do
microphone.
this. And they're all silent, and they all say, stop, go, and you have to get into the zone. Like, okay, here's a scene where you have to be serious, or you have to laugh. You know how hard it is to look like you're genuinely having a good time when it's just
honestly. Or what do you think is harder, faking crying or faking laughing?
the comedy might even be a little bit harder, because I feel like that's so hard to do. Like if you're with a group of people, let's say like you're not enjoying your time, like have a good time. Like no.
Or all right, say you're eating at a group, or say you're out eating and you're having a good time, but you're not laughing.
Yeah.
But you're like, dude, no, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I'm just not like.
That's how I am. You internalize.
You're just
things.
like,
oh, that was clever.
like you're actually happy and having a good time, but like on film, you would need to be like, oh.
But you have to sit there and say, but he went here. Yeah, that was pretty loud right there. But you have to laugh, and then the cut, do that 8 more times. But in a crying scene, I mean, it probably just depends on the person.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be a little bit easier to cry though.
Maybe.
I don't know. If I could get there,
tears.
Yeah, because if you just, if you sit, it's not really that hard. I was actually trying it the other day in my room because I was
trying to cry.
Yeah, just like sitting there. And just like building it in your face. If you get that face feeling and kind of let your eyes like
water
dry out a little bit, you can kind of ride that wave. If you just, think of just really shitty things or just feel shitty, or you think happy things. You can think of happy things as well that can make you cry.
Like Pursuit of Happiness at the end.
I haven't seen that movie. That's one movie. Yeah, I need to watch that movie.
Man.
I haven't seen that movie. Dude, I have no idea how I haven't seen that movie.
I promise you. Top tier. One of Will Smith's best movies.
I need to see 7 Pounds as well.
7 Pounds is just as sad. Dude, man, they're both sad. He was on a run.
I Am Legend was one of my favorite movies growing up. Dude, I love that movie.
What's a better post-apocalyptic movie? I Am Legend or Book of Eli? Have you seen Book of Eli with Denzel?
Barely remember Book of Eli, but I love I Am Legend.
I Am Legend is good. Check out Book of Eli.
Okay.
Denzel's
it's
incredible. Similar.
Yeah.
But he's not the last person on earth.
Yeah. I just remember being affected by it. Like I Am Legend is one of those movies where I can watch that I know it's gonna happen, and then the deluxe version or whatever had the alternate ending.
Yeah.
Where he lives.
Yeah.
And survives.
The zombie he gets in the door or something
and then shuts it.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering okay, why
didn't he just do this in the first place?
Because he could have just threw the grenade out, and then but the alternate ending was cool because he gave the infected
vial.
Back.
Yeah.
He took the
the zombie.
Yeah. Because I don't even know if there's zombies. They're just infected because it was a vaccine that they took for cancer.
Interesting.
Interesting. But watching that, because I remember because he was that movie was just great though, the way the dog scene is obviously like a standout for just a really terrible thing to feel. Because it's coming. He's sitting there, and it's happening. You want to look away, but you can't because it's like cathartic in a really hurt you way.
Dude, okay. Your homework is to watch Pursuit of Happiness and 7 Pounds, bro.
So I just cry. You want me to just cry?
You will.
Yeah.
You will.
Okay.
And there's no a couple years, probably 5-6 years ago. I think I was in high school. Walmart had those little $5 bins.
Yeah.
I grabbed Pursuit of Happiness. I was like, I'm gonna watch this tonight. Dude, I literally cried in my room. No shame.
Yeah.
By myself. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know who directed that movie,
I'm
but
not sure either.
and it's literally I think it hits so much different because it's literally Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
Yeah, you know the connection between the two.
He's
Yeah,
like, okay, son.
it's
like,
also real.
like
Yeah,
there's some scenes in there because like I'm not spoiling anything, but they're homeless.
spoiled. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
But they're homeless. So like, picture Will Smith stepping
Yeah.
into this role. He's like, I'm homeless with a child. No, I'm homeless with my child.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
gruesome. Yeah,
yes,
I need to.
brutal.
Yeah, I already I put it off for so long because everyone. I mean, I like crying is actually not a bad thing for me. If
Yeah.
I watch a movie and cry at the end, I know that
It's a good release.
it did something
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, I'll definitely watch it and then text you and say like you made me cry because you put me into that position. But yeah, I'll
7
definitely
pounds
watch
is,
it.
is a sad cry. Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, it's a good cry.
They're-
Oh wait, don't. Yeah, just leave it up.
You'll
in the
see.
air. I'll just be anxious about it until I cry about it. So I already know. I already knew I was gonna cry too. That's why I've been putting it off for like half of my life. I've seen like pieces of it, but not and just really out of context and not at the end or anything. So
What are some songs or bands that make you cry? That's another thing too. It's like a whole nother.
That's a whole
experience.
other spectrum.
Yeah.
Those are different all the time. It's
Yeah.
usually not even the same ones.
Music. Whenever you hear like a really sad song, it's almost like it makes you like zone out and
Yeah.
you kind of like think, oh, like I don't know. It makes me like replay memories or something like that. Like I'll listen to a really sad like song by The Weeknd or something, and I'll be like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I'm really like deep in my head right now.
It takes you somewhere that you. I think recently this band Pine Grove, they have a newer record. It's called Marigold, and they have a song called Hairpin. And the end of the song is really instrumental and melodic, and it just pretty much like rides out in a really big way, and it's like an emotional relief. And I think that's the most recently I've cried to a song because I just put my headphones on,
Yeah.
just blasting it in my room.
Pine Grove is like a newish band.
Well, they've been around for some years. They're three or four albums in. Technically, they have like, but they're kind of like Americana, like I don't
Folkish?
know, country focused, like post emo sounding. They're all over the place. They're
Yeah,
absolutely incredible though. So, them and another song I can think of. I don't know if you grew up listening to My Chemical Romance, but they have a song called Cancer, and the whole song's about being diagnosed with cancer and dying
Damn.
of cancer. And so that's a song that makes me cry. I think every
Terrible
time.
Things by Mayday Parade.
I was just about to say Mayday Parade.
Dude.
Terrible
Terrible Things.
My friend and I used to listen to that song next to each other. two like dudes when we were, when you're younger, just trying to be as masculine as possible all the time. We would sit next to each other and cry.
Dude.
Just cry.
They Terrible Things by
Dun 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 dun. Oh, dude. Yeah.
There's another song too by Brad Paisley, country, and I cannot think, but it's
Oh, How
called
You Remind Me is made me cry with him and Carrie Underwood. Or no, Nickelback is the same title as. I'm gonna have to look.
But there's a song called Whiskey Lullaby by Brad Paisley.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, that song is so sad.
Let me.
Alison Krauss and Brad Paisley. That song
Okay.
is so sad. It's straight up country.
The Brad Paisley song. Oh, it's just called "Remind Me."
Is
Yeah.
it the same rendition of the Nickelback?
No, it's
Oh,
completely
okay.
different. It's
Okay.
him and Carrie Underwood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, country, man, look, all right, pure country music is great.
Mm-hmm.
This Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean pop rock country shit
Yeah.
is literally, it gives country like a bad name because
For sure.
pure country is very instrumental, and it's got the fiddle and the piano, a lot
Yeah.
of piano and acoustic guitar and
Yeah.
stuff, and like spectacular songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like old country is
It's
actually really good.
Waylon Jennings. Yeah.
It just gets a really bad rap because you hear "country girl, shake it for me,"
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, like this is, I guess it's country, but like,
It's just a lot of just songwriters now, a lot of pop songwriters as well, just write things in the tone of country because it's really now it's just pop music. It's just kind of twangy. It's not really
Yeah.
difficult to do, and then even now it has like 808s and stuff. It's
Yeah.
more electronic side.
There's a newer guy, Kane Brown.
Kane Brown, yeah, he's
I
more on the
don't know him too much, but like he's doing
poppier country
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
He's really popular too.
I mean,
like,
even I grew up listening to Keith Urban. That's like my mom's favorite
He's
artist
dope.
of all time, and I love his older music. But he like, he's more pop now, more kind of pop country. I think on his newer album, I looked at the songwriters list, and he wasn't on like most of the songs that I saw on there. So
how do you feel about that? Do you think that takes away from a person's credibility? As an
I
artist?
used to just because of like a pride thing, like, oh, this person's owning something that they
That they didn't
do. But you can go back in history and hear some of the greatest songs that have ever been written, and they didn't. Sinatra wrote nothing, and
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wrote nothing, but he sang it like it was
Like it was his.
inside of his teeth. It just came out of his. Yeah,
I bet Elvis was the same.
yeah. I think Elvis had a lot of songwriters. I mean, the Beatles wrote their stuff, but they had like a team of like the greatest songwriters to ever live in,
Bro,
in the history of music.
listened to a 2-part true crime podcast on John Lennon's death.
Yeah.
Dude, it did a really good job of like going back to literally his birth and like his rise to fame.
Yeah.
Dude, this man people don't realize how famous this fucking guy was.
Oh, he was.
Dude.
Yeah.
So famous.
Yeah, he was massive.
John fucking Lennon.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he got murdered in 1980, and right as he died, he was on like a 5-year hiatus from music. Like he left the Beatles, married Yoko,
And he was doing solo work as well. Yeah.
with Yoko, and like,
Plastic Ono Band.
yeah. So, dude, I just didn't really like. I knew, okay, the Beatles is the largest band
Yeah, ever.
potentially ever.
Yeah.
And I knew all like John Lennon was super famous, but dude, this man John Lennon went ghost
Yeah.
for a couple years.
Yeah.
Didn't make nothing. Like there's an interview he did for the album that they did, the second one they did. I can't remember what it was called, but and he was just like, yeah, I didn't pick up a guitar at all. He was like, I just moved around, and
Yeah.
he was like, I just wanted to be a father. Yeah, John Lennon.
He was massive. I mean, all of them were, but he was the more outspoken one.
He was.
And he also had a lot of issues as well.
He did,
with
which I
abuse.
didn't,
And
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that growing up either. But which kind of feels weird listening to some of their songs and knowing like
Yeah.
at this time his history. But it makes me feel better knowing that like the other, Paul or George or Ringo, to my knowledge, weren't awful.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until then. I was like, oh, he beat his wife. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's I forget which.
He had a kid and like abandoned the kid too.
I think I get by with a little help. He says I think in one of the lyrics he says like, I used to beat my woman in the day or whatever, and like was nonchalant about it in the lyrics, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
like,
they referenced another song too. He was like basically saying, I need to be better. I
got to get better. Yeah.
I can't remember.
I used to. Yeah. And then you hear it and you're like, what
wait,
the
hold on.
fuck? What did you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like,
Yeah.
if you can like we were talking about the other day with X, can
Yeah.
you separate the art from the artist?
The difficult part,
Somewhat.
the thing is, like, if you know about these things before listening to the artist, it's kind of like, well, especially if they're alive. We're talking about, people that aren't alive and they're not profiting off of you listening to them, and they're not, being an abuser and profiting and still being an abuser, or but I don't know. Because some people will hear music before they know those things, and that music can mean a lot to somebody, especially in times of their life. I mean, especially the Beatles, for hundreds of millions of people.
Dude,
I know
they were the first. I mean, they were like the first band to literally like have groupies and like Justin Bieber type
like
status. They were doing that in the 50s.
Yeah,
like,
post jazz. I know a lot of
jazz.
I mean, because jazz musicians, like, people thought they were just chill. Like Miles Davis was, he would
maniac.
get fucked up. He would do, a lot of people, a lot of drug use in that era too. People thought drug use was the 70s.
John Lennon was also a heroin addict too. Did not know that.
A lot of heroin with
So
the jazz groups, and
so disgusting, honestly. But
it's crucial.
Have you heard the theory about Paul McCartney being dead?
Yeah, that's been existing for a long time.
If it's true, there's no way that they could come out if the real Paul McCartney, so to speak, did die. There's no way they could actually let that happen.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
that would have killed the business.
No,
Of the Beatles.
He's still writing songs now himself.
Yeah.
He's still making music and selling out. Well, I was gonna say tours. No more
Paul,
tours anymore.
he was at Bonnaroo
Yeah,
a couple years ago, a few years ago. Who was your favorite who was your favorite vintage band?
Oh, the Beatles for sure.
The Beatles.
I didn't grow up on them. My mom's a massive fan.
I have some records.
Yeah. But the album that I got really into was Sgt. Pepper's, and
Was that the last? No, the last one was Abbey Road, I think.
yeah, the last one was Abbey Road.
I think it was.
Or was it?
They have so many albums too, and that was the other thing in the podcast that they were talking about was how this is crazy to think. So look, we're talking about the early 60s, okay? A lot of these venues and stuff and didn't have the equipment to have them be able to tour as much as they could, so they basically couldn't tour. So all they did was just go in the studio. Dude, just
they never played Sgt. Pepper's live, and they recorded it with the intention because they had horns. They had and I got into that album because a long time ago, my friend Emmett, which rest in peace now, he showed me A Day in the Life, and we sat in the car, and I just remember the ending of I don't know if you've remember the song, the ending, that it builds up and it builds up. There's a massive, I think 8 pianos at the same time, just dung, and it's one of the greatest songs ever written. And I heard that a long time ago, so I had the impression oh, maybe the Beatles aren't because my dad was a Stones fan, so he was always in the Stones and would call the Beatles bubblegum pop or whatever, just kind of the lighter side.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they completely did all the psychedelic things before the Stones did. Everything the Stones did was following what the Beatles did. And
both English bands.
Yeah, and the Zombies did a lot back. Yeah, there were a lot of bands back then. But that record, I got into it recently, and I just listened to it nonstop.
I'm gonna check them out because now that I'm at work and I literally drive all day, I will go through the other day, I went through Good Kid, Mad City. Top to bottom. Have you listened to it top to bottom?
No, I haven't.
Bro, check that. It's a story. It's okay, yeah. I mean, you can only imagine. It's a story. It tells a story, man. It is literally a flawless for.
It's one of the highest rated highest. Yeah.
So good. You don't even have to be a rap fan, dude. Musically, it is top tier. It's telling the story of him as a kid growing up in Compton and how he didn't ask to be.
Yeah.
Grow up in the gang life and stuff. Or his cousins and his brothers and stuff, were in it. Yeah. And he was just there and he was just trying to fit in, but he was always the quiet kid, and he tells it. There's skits and stuff at the end and the beginning of the songs.
Okay, yeah.
But it'll be the first song ends and it's you hear his mom and dad on the phone. And his dad was a crackhead or something. Okay. And his dad was I'm trying to vibe. And then he goes, "Bitch, don't kill my vibe," comes on right after that.
Oh, right after. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it just dude.
Because everyone says it's a masterpiece. The same with to Pimp a Butterfly as well. That's one of the highest rated albums in a while as well.
But what I was gonna say is I'm gonna go through a Beatles album and just let it run.
Yeah. I did that with that album, and I still find songs that I didn't know that I would love, but. Yeah, the White Album. I love the White Album as well. Dear Prudence is incredible, and
it's crazy they were doing that back then with
the shittiest
equipment too.
Yeah,
essentially.
John Lennon would write a song. I think they said they'd write a song, and then 15 minutes, the rest of the band would come up with their parts, and they'd be like, "All right, let's do it." Not every song, obviously, but John would write, and then Paul would write, and then eventually George, he would write, and he wrote Here Comes the Sun, which is the number one streamed Beatles songs, and they didn't take him seriously as a songwriter until the middle of their career.
He was
I have
lead guitar,
song.
right?
Yeah, and then he had a solo career, and then
Wham? Was it?
No, that's George Michael. That's George Michael. Yeah, he was.
What was his band though? What was
Wham? Is George Michael's band?
What was Harrison's?
He was just by himself. He just did a solo after.
He didn't.
It was George Harrison.
Oh, dude.
What was my guitar? Gently
What was Paul's other band?
Damn. It was John Lennon had a couple. He had John Lennon, then he had the Plastic Ono band.
Yeah.
And then he had his solo.
Man.
Paul McCartney and the
Was it Paul? Was it named Paul McCartney and something?
and the fuck. This is
Hold
something
on.
I would remember if
Wings.
And the Wings, yeah.
Okay.
Paul McCartney and the Wings, yeah.
Wings.
Yeah,
I
he
was
had that.
I was thinking W. I was like,
Wham, yeah. George Michael, yeah.
I think it's.
Shout out George Michael, he's incredible.
What do you?
as well.
Okay, so. I think it's so weird, or not weird, but like it's crazy that Ringo and Paul are still alive, and they kind of have like no relationship with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
It's so weird. Literally, half of the greatest band ever is still alive, and like
Chilling.
they're just chilling.
Yeah, Paul McCartney. I can't imagine being Paul McCartney. I think he understands what he's done for everyone ever, but I just think he still doesn't really get it because like I feel like when you're in that position, you do get it, but like people that when he walks around England and someone's like that's Paul McCartney.
That's fucking Paul McCartney.
Yeah, they probably look at it like a normal thing because he's like an Englishman. Like it's it's like there are probably so many stories of people seeing Paul McCartney or whatever, but that's like you grow up there and that's like a god to you that you hear about when you grow up like on that side of the world for sure. I would assume.
Who do you think? This is probably a dumb question because I know you're a Beatles fan, but who do you think had a bigger cultural impact, Mick Jagger or like somebody like Paul McCartney?
I think Paul McCartney did more so because, I mean, Mick Jagger wasn't just like the biggest part of the Rolling Stones as well. You had, Keith Richards.
Yeah,
and,
he was like the entertainer, dancing and shit. Like he kind of did implement that. The Beatles was more like look, guys, look at this instrumentation.
Yeah.
Look at, like, the skill.
Well, because Mick Jagger wrote a lot of songs, but Keith Richards would write a lot of the music
He passed,
as well.
right?
No, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
Brian Young, the original guitarist, died. I'm pretty, like, 99% sure that was his name. He was, like, Paint It Black. That was, like, Brian Young, this style of guitar. But dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
I remember that on Guitar Hero. I think that was how I figured
first
it out.
time I ever heard
Probably
that song.
12 years old.
Guitar Hero and Rock Band actually introduced me to so many bands
Classics.
because you could get DLCs where you could download songs that you liked. And
I found out Pearl Jam from there, too.
yeah, live.
I think Even
that
Flow.
Was Even Flow.
Which is, like, poppy as fuck, but, like, fire.
Yeah, because it would play in the main menu. You would just hear, like, the melody of it.
Let me ask you one more. Mick Jagger or Ozzy?
I'm still going to take Ozzy over that because Ozzy created
Invented
an entire
metal.
that Black Sabbath band. I didn't realize it growing up, but they completely changed the entire game.
What
really.
were they like 70s?
Yeah, 70s.
Era?
And they were doing, metal and hard rock and it really wasn't happy. The lyrics weren't happy at all. Not to mention Ozzy's solo career. Because that's what most people hear first is, you hear the Crazy Train and howling at the moon, like you hear that or barking at the moon. You don't hear Black Sabbath really usually.
War Pigs.
Dun, 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 dun. And then you hear like Arctic Monkeys AM album that just sounds exactly like that one song, like in 10 different ways.
Renditions.
Pretty much. Yeah, over and over again.
You hear that song he has with Post Malone?
Who?
Ozzy.
He did that. He did that one song. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like. I mean, he's lost his fucking mind by now. But.
Well, he had a solo record that came out that actually did pretty well. So recently, and I think he got it produced by Andrew Watt, which is one of the main like pop producers now, but the guy that produces a lot of Post Malone stuff as well.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm not really like that much of a fan of that type of like rock music, so I don't like listen to it that much. But
I had a guy on here. He was like a metal purist. Like he was like that was like his shit. Like he was like, nah, metal is like my shit, and like he.
Some people, metal purists are metal.
You know, like and you can tell. Like for you, I could see you being more into somebody like the Beatles because it's like the arrangement, the skill, you know what I'm saying? Like like they arranged this song.
Just the creativity, because they weren't the best musicians at all. They just knew how to write songs.
Yeah, true.
And that's the main thing. A lot of people think you have to be this talented person, but in this generation, we realize you need 4 chords and a melody, and you're on top of the entire universe. And one day is all it takes.
So let's do this as our final topic.
Cool.
Whenever you are writing a song, kind of give me like that kind of process. Just put me in your like Are you're by yourself more than likely?
Yeah, I
Kinda-
really can't write with.
Yeah. So like you do write
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know your guitar melodies and
then
your
my
like do
vocal
you
stuff.
physically write? You know, kind of like give me some stuff.
Most of the time, I just pick up the guitar. Recently, like the past couple of years, I've just been doing really acoustic guitar heavy stuff and just doubling the acoustic guitar and then doubling my vocals, so it's kind of louder in the mix or whatever. And
So you're recording yourself?
yeah, and I just
Okay.
do that recently. I mean, I recently got a better mic, but I need to get a new interface and stuff like that to record on it. So I've just been recording on Apple's headphone mic, and it works
works.
in the way that I like it. It doesn't sound professional at all, but it sounds like how I want it to sound. So
Yeah.
I just do that. I usually just pick up the guitar though, and then find a melody and just say gibberish or whatever until I find a word that would even make sense.
Like, oh, that fit. Oh, that's a English word.
I don't know how people write lyrics before they write music and then fit lyrics in. I've tried that so many times, it just never feels authentic to me. I know a lot of people can write full songs or take from things and then go into the song and say it. But if I don't just say it when the melody comes and just come
Yeah.
up with words, it just never feels like real to me. I don't know, but yeah, usually I'll just play the guitar for like an hour, get one melody, come up with that song, and I usually get halfway in a song and then realize there's another melody and another chord progression that I
Yeah.
accidentally did, and then I'll just never finish that song until like 3 months later because I just keep on going on this train
Do you like keep your phone recording like
just voice. Yeah, I have I think my voicemail is like 19 gigabytes worth of memory just because I just
I've
constantly.
done that too.
You have to though. If you have like some idea, especially at work, just like you just
Yep.
and you'll never get back to that most of the time. You just
You'll forget it.
You need to get it down. But
So
yeah.
for the most part, is your music like are you wanting to add like more percussions and drums in your stuff, or are you just kind of wanting to get voice and strings?
Right now, I'm just like pretty much. It's just kind of like. It's not what works easiest, but it's like what I like now. And I guess like if
feel
I
that.
want to change it, because I have a song coming out on, I think the 18th. I think like next Friday. And it's kind of in the same
Guitar,
the
voice.
same like
Nice.
atmosphere. But I definitely, like I said, I got a new mic. I just need to get an interface, and I want to start learning how to mix on my own so I can make
Yeah.
things sound.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
yeah.
Is so like would like obviously I know you don't want to be in a band, but like would something be? Well, I'm not gonna. Do you?
I
guess,
mean, I would like a
like-
live band. I
Right,
mean,
right.
I don't mind that, but it's kind of like I like.
because like it's kind of a solo ish
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it is.
So like I guess what I'm asking you is, are you open to have people like add like a drum pattern or something to it, or like say you're like, okay, all right, you're like, okay, Spencer, I'm gonna make an album. Would you want it to just be like guitar melodies and voice, or would you want it to be more kind of like a full arrangement?
I would probably do everything because I'm a drummer
Yeah.
first, so I can.
Oh,
I can,
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I have drums on my house, so like I would be able to do all that unless I were to like if it was recorded live or something. I would definitely like to do that and go into a studio and kind of have a drummer that like is kind of like around
Yeah.
the way of my style. And
I
then,
guess that's what I was asking. Like, would you be open to kind of letting someone have a little bit of control? You know what I'm saying? To be like,
it's different because I'm really picky about stuff.
Right.
Like I'll record the same vocal melody probably 35 times and it be worse in the end because of it. Just I don't know. It has to be. If something isn't exactly the way that I know it should be, I'll never be able to like let myself live that down.
I know,
'Cause
yeah.
I've definitely put things out before where I was like, I don't need to go back and record it. It's already on, DistroKid or whatever the
Yeah.
service. I'm not gonna. But there have been times where I'll take the song off and be like, no, it's good, and I'll take it off, and then it's just like, what the fuck am I
What
even
did I
doing
do?
at this point?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it would be open to there'd be some sort of creativity that wasn't just my own, but
Yeah, like I guess what I'm asking is like, would you be open to like, because like I know it's a solo thing, but would you be open to letting people like add some stuff to it?
yeah, I mean, it would
You
have
know?
to. Yeah, I'm more so not.
Obviously,
like
you can't
for-
do all of it alone. I mean, you can, but like it's not practical, I guess.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean,
You might need some help.
A lot of people can do it now though. It's wild. There are a lot of
Mm.
people that just record everything by themselves, and I just gotten used to it because I just
Yeah.
grew up like playing different instruments and stuff, so it's easy because
Mm.
I have a lot of stuff on like Logic where it's like it's not guitar, like I like poppier stuff or
Yeah.
kind of more just different sounding. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's not like much of just this has to be it. But if I hear something, I'll know what like isn't it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's because I'll put like if I do like a melody, I'm sure like if you're writing, you're like, nah, that's not it. Like other people would do things, and I just don't like saying that's not it. That's
Yeah.
not it. That's not it to people because.
I feel that, but dude, that's your baby though.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is yours. So it's not really even a dickish thing either.
No,
it's just kinda
absolutely
like,
not.
You know, if you know what you want, then you know what you want, and if you know what you don't want, then that's not going to change. You're not just going to think. I mean, there might be certain circumstances where you're like, that's grown on me, but I don't really let things grow on me. I just want it to be exactly what. What about you though? I mean, when you're writing music, are you closed off to people coming in and commenting on what you do, or
So, okay. I probably the last year and a half or so, I haven't been doing a whole lot of music. So, as of late, probably in the last 6 months, I've kind of rebuilt a little mini studio over here. So, I'm getting back into it. But in the past, personally, I would rather someone, I say this all the time to my friends and my collaborators, I would rather you tell me that the bars I just spit sucked because then you telling me that it's good, because that means I know you're telling me the truth.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
definitely, yeah.
But ultimately,
If you feel,
if I spit something
yeah,
and I think it's hard or dope, and they're like, I don't know, I don't know if that was it, and I think it was it, I'd be like,
it doesn't matter.
sorry, man.
Yeah, it's end all. It's a yeah.
But like, I'm open
I
to
agree.
I'm open to like, if I make a song and they're kind of like, I think maybe you could have done this, and I'll be like, let me consider it. But if I genuinely think, no, that I gave that my all,
Yeah.
then your opinion, it doesn't really.
Well, yeah.
Well,
yeah, and they.
But I appreciate.
Most people understand that, especially
Yeah.
from an artist. I completely understand that, because when you're playing your music in the car, sometimes for somebody showing them like, oh yeah, I just got this down.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it would be cool if this one part. It's like,
well,
I thought about that.
well,
it isn't.
yeah, but-
it's not. Yeah, it's not cool to me.
Yeah.
But it's just because you care so much about
Yeah.
it. It's like my life pretty much is just caring about
But
it.
like, if that shit is ass, and then when they say it, I think, damn, maybe that shit is ass. Now that I kind of think about it this way.
You don't ever want to second guess yourself,
Yeah.
because then you start second guessing everything you've
Literally,
done.
yeah.
And then you'll like, when you come up with decisions, you'll think about, well, I don't give a fuck about what anyone else is going to think about this part.
Yeah. I'm actively working on an album, a project. I've never put anything on streaming services.
Okay.
That's my next goal. My SoundCloud, I have like, I filled up all the free portion you can on SoundCloud.
Okay, yeah.
I've put out music for the last 5 years, and I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm just gonna perfect
Yeah.
this to a certain degree, however I want. I've had some sessions, I've been making beats, I just want to make a complete project, like a concept album. You know what I'm saying? Like a Good Kid, Mad City, where
Yeah.
it's like telling a story, or like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Travis Scott, but like his Astroworld album is like every song has the same. Every song is like cohesive.
Yeah. It ties in together.
Everything. So I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. So final.
That's cool.
Final thoughts, man. So new song next Friday.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to add, announce, say?
No, there's a new song next Friday. It's called Better Off.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll just be on all the streaming
Nice.
services. Like,
Bet.
yeah.
Spencer Johnson,
Yeah.
right?
Spencer Emil
Spencer
Johnson.
Emil.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
link it in and stuff. Spencer, I appreciate it. I'd love to
Yeah.
have you back
Oh,
on again,
yeah.
bro.
That's awesome.
Episode 81, man. I'm just this shit just makes me feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Your growth has been awesome.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. It's been a journey for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of growing pains. You know how it is
Yeah.
with
Just growing anything is really difficult. But
Anything.
you do a really great job of like letting it be known that like it's a safe space and stuff. It's
yeah,
really
dude.
cool. It feels awesome.
I
being
want it.
here.
I don't want it to feel like an interview. There will be
Yeah.
elements of it, you
Yeah.
know, where I'm like, okay, Spencer, now tell me where you're from.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also not just gonna just be like,
Mm-hmm.
and then let it get silent, because
Yeah.
like, in a lot of these like interviews and shit that you see, they'll ask the question, they'll answer it, and then there's like awkward silence.
Yeah.
Well, they'll edit the silence out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
'Cause, like-
cookie cutter.
Yeah, because the first time I came on, I think it was like a little bit like just like the situation of it, because obviously it was like having a lot of like ticks in the first
Yeah,
one or whatever. Because
nerves and just
but
unknown.
yeah, but before this one, I was like, I'm just gonna be relaxed, because that's all it is, just be relaxed or whatever.
I mean, we're literally sitting in my living
yeah,
room.
we're chilling. Yeah,
You know? But Spencer Johnson, I appreciate you. Episode 81. Please go follow him and listen to his new song next week. This will be out before then, hopefully.
Yeah.
So perfect timing,
Oh,
actually.
sweet. Yeah, sweet.